Don't you need me like you? Astaghfirullah. We don't have to read anything else other than the book stuffs, okay? Bachu, bachu, oh, bachu, oh, bachu. Tinta. Astaghfirullah, 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 astaghfirullah. They don't want to study Kepler's law. Hi, Icon. Icon Gaming. Bachu, bachu. Bachu, 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 bachu. Ayo, this free fall is so difficult. Anyways, let's not talk about it. ये पनि भने छु. Thrust and pressure. Then we have pressure in fluids. That's it. Relative density is not given in book either. No, it's not just relative density. Archimedes principle. Buoyancy. आज भी गेमिंग नहीं लिखना. ओह हाँ, कल लिखा था ना मैंने. आज नहीं लिखूंगी. up बच्चू thrust and pressure. क्या पढ़ोगे आइकन तुम? मैं ग्रेविटेशन आज कंप्लीट कर दूंगी. आज मुझे ये जाके पढ़ाना है ना. Thrust and pressure, pressure in fluid and buoyancy. Pressure in fluid, pressure, P-R-E-S-S-U-R-E, pressure in fluids, F-L-U-I-D-S, fluids, pressure in fluids. Then the buoyancy, B-U-O, buoyancy. And when objects floats or sink when placed in the surface of water. Archimedes principle. Archimedes, M-E-D-S, Archimedes. सॉरी मुझे लगा ही था कि मैं फ्री फॉल में गलत करूँगी. मैंने कर दिया ना गलती. अब कोई बात नहीं, फिर से करो. Yup, I can speak in English. Yup, सर्वजीता, I'm back. आज मेरा एक क्लास थोड़ा जल्दी है ना सर्वजीता, इसलिए आज ग्रेविटेशन जल्दी कंप्लीट करके मुझे पढ़ाने के लिए जाना होगा. आई डोंट नो द एग्जैक्ट टाइमिंग, बट हाँ, आज क्लास थोड़ा जल्दी है. आई थिंक इट्स फ्रॉम 2 मे बी, बट आई एम नॉट श्योर. तो छोटा सा वो रखते हैं ना सेशन, 25 मिनट जितना का ही रखते हैं, या फिर उससे भी कम, और फिर ब्रेक लेते हैं, फिर पढ़ते हैं. ऐसे करके लगेगा कि पढ़ नहीं रहे. प्लीज़ स्पीक इन इंग्लिश. ओके, you're short. You don't speak Hindi or you don't understand any other language. Salute. कितने मिनट का रखे सेशन? वैसे भी पढ़ना ही तो है ना. पढ़ते पढ़ते बात करेंगे. Zaz, hey Zaz. Hey yo Zaz, how are you Zaz? कैसा नाम है Jazz? Anyways, ये भी हो गया. फ्री फॉल ऑलमोस्ट हो गया. Kepler's law नहीं पढ़ाना है. Planet move around the sun in oval shaped path. The imaginary line between the planet and the sun sweeps out equal area. As planet moves in the orbit, the imaginary line between planet and the sun sweeps out equal area in equal time. Equal area ra equal time. Okay. बिस्तारै मुभ गर्छ फार हुँदाखेरि. This means the planet moves faster when it is closer to the sun and slower when it is farther away. टाढो हुँदाखेरि slower हुन्छ, नजिक हुँदाखेरि faster हुन्छ. Okay, that's it. Got it? Same area is covered, same time, equal time. Okay, 6 months ma same time, equal time. Kepler's law of time period. रेडियस अफ अर्थसँग डिपेन्ड गर्छ एक साइकल अराउन्ड सन कम्प्लिट गर्दा कति टाइम लाग्छ भनेर. ओके, रेडियस अफ अर्थसँग डिपेन्ड गर्दो रहेछ एक साइकल कम्प्लिट गर्नुको लागि. सनको वरिपरि एक कम्प्लिट साइकल गर्नुको लागि चाहिँ कति टाइम लाग्छ भनेर. सन कम्प्लिट गर्दा कति टाइम लाग्छ भनेर. रेडियस अफ अर्थसँग डिपेन्ड गर्छ एक साइकल कम्प्लिट साइकल अराउन्ड द sun complete गर्दा कति टाइम लाग्छ भनेर. The time a planet takes to complete one orbit around the sun is related to its distance from the sun. Specifically, the square of the time, the orbit period, square of the time, the orbit period is proportional to the cube of the average distance from the sun. Cube of the average distance from the sun. नहीं, you carry on. तुम्हें पढ़ना हुए देख के मेरा मन बनी तो बैठूंगी. ओके सर्वजिता, कौन सी पढ़ाई कर रही हो? Ought to take anything you say seriously, even if I could understand with a damn rooster in the background. Coffee. What the hell are you drinking? That takes your just like that. Oh, never mind. It's probably just your all's village water supply. You are so mean, Alan. Kepler's law of time period. The time a planet takes to complete one orbit around the sun is related to its distance from the sun. Specifically, the square of the time. The orbit distance is proportional to the cube of the average distance from the sun. Kepler's law first को लले के भन्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ प्लानेट सनको वरिपरि केमा गर्छ इलिप्टिकल पाथमा घुम्छ. सन सेन्टरमा हैन फोकीमा हुन्छ. फर्स्ट लले भन्छ केप्लर्स लले के भन्दैछ भन्दा as a planet moves in its orbit, the imaginary line between the planet and the sun sweeps out equal area in equal time interval. This means the planet moves faster when it is closer to the sun. Sun को क्लोज हुँदाखेरि प्लानेट के गर्छ फास्टर मुभ गर्छ, whereas फार अवे हुँदाखेरि स्लोली मुभ गर्छ. थर्ड लली भन्छ जुन चाहिँ हाम्रो एक साइकल कम्प्लिट हुनुको लागि जति टाइम लाग्छ त्यो चाहिँ केमा डिपेन्ड गर्छ सन र अर्थको डिस्टेन्समा डिपेन्ड गर्छ. टी इज डाइरेक्टली प्रोपोर्सनल आर को क्यूब. आर भनेको डिस्टेन्स बिट्विन सन एन्ड अर्थ. अ क्यूब टी स्क्वायर. टाइम पिरियडको स्क्वायर इज डाइरेक्टली प्रोपोर्सनल टु आर क्यूब. टाइम पिरियडको स्क्वायर इज डाइरेक्टली प्रोपोर्सनल टु आर क्यूब. रहेछ. ओके, बुझ्यो यहाँसम्म. Thrust and pressure. Kepler's law. Yes, Kepler's law. पढ़ाई कर रही है. हाँ, पढ़ाई कर रही हूँ. Thrust and pressure. Have you ever wondered why a camel can run in a desert easily? Why an army tank weighing more than 1,000 tons rests upon a continuous chain? army tank weighing more than 1,000 pounds rest upon a continuous chain. Why a truck or a motor bus has much wider tires? Why cutting tools have sharp edges? In order to address this question and address the phenomena involved, it helps to introduce the concept of net force in a particular direction, thrust, and the force per unit area, pressure, acting on the object. Pressure is equals to force upon area, force per unit area. In order to address this question, understand the phenomena involved, it helps to introduce the concept of the net force in a particular direction. Net force in a particular direction, upward direction much money gives a thrust on the lighting. Force acting on an object perpendicular to the surface is called thrust. Force acting on an object perpendicular to the surface is called thrust, okay? And the force per unit area, pressure, acting on the body, and the force per unit area, pressure, acting on the object concerned. Excuse me. Let us try to understand the meaning of thrust and pressure by considering the following situation. Situation 1. You wish to fix a poster on a bulletin board. As shown in figure 10.3. To fix the poster, drawing pins are pressed with the thumb perpendicular to the board. Okay, got it? To do this task, you will have to press drawing pins with your thumb. You apply a force on the surface area of the head of the pin. This force is perpendicular to the surface area of the board. The force is directed perpendicular to the surface area of the board. This force acts on a smaller area at the tip of the pin. Okay. You apply a force on the surface area of the head of the pin. This force is directed perpendicular to the surface area of the board. This force acts on a smaller area at the tip of the pin. This force acts on a smaller area at the tip of the pin, okay? Situation 2. You stand on loose sand. Your feet go deeper into the sand. Now lie down on the sand. You will find that your body will not go that deep in the sand. In both cases, the force exerted on the sand you will find that your body will not go that deep in the sand. You have learned that weight is the force acting vertically downward. You have learned that weight is the force surface of the sand. Okay, force acting on object, force acting on object perpendicular to the surface. Force is acting perpendicular to the surface of the sand. Force is the weight. You have learned that weight is the force acting vertically downward. Weight is the force acting vertically downward. Here the force is acting perpendicular to the surface of the here the force is acting perpendicular to the surface of the sand. Force is acting perpendicular to the surface of the sand. The force acting on an object perpendicular to the surface is called perpendicular to the surface को perpendicular force acting on an object. कुनै पनि अब्जेक्टमा फोर्स लागेको हुनुपर्छ, सर्फेससँग परपेन्डिकुलर हुन्छ, त्यसलाई के भन्छ? थ्रस्ट भन्छ. जब हामी लाई डाउन गर्छ के हुन्छ? वेट एउटा के हो? फोर्स हो. यो भर्टिकली डाउनवर्ड एक्ट गरेको हुन्छ. तर फोर्स एक्टिङ perpendicular to the surface of the sand. The force acting on an object perpendicular to the surface is called thrust. The force acting on an object, कुनै पनि अब्जेक्टमा फोर्स लागेको हुन्छ perpendicular to the surface. Perpendicular छ नि त सर्फेससँग, त्यसलाई के भन्छ? Thrust भन्छ. When you stand on a loose sand, the force that is the weight of your body is acting on an equal area of your feet. The weight of your body is acting on an area equal to area of your feet. When you stand on loose sand, the force that is the weight of your body is acting on an area equal to area of your feet. When you lie down, the same force acts on an area equal to the contact of your whole body, which is larger than the area of your feet. Thus, the effect of force on the same magnitude on different areas are different. Thus, the effect of force on the same magnitude on different areas are different. In the above cases, thrust is the same. The effects are different, which on the area on which it acts. The effect of thrust depends on the area on which it acts. The effect of thrust on sand is larger while standing. The effect of thrust on sand is larger while standing than while lying. The thrust on unit area is called pressure. Thrust on unit area is called pressure. Pressure is equals to thrust upon area, SI unit. Substituting the SI unit of the thrust and area equation. Thrust एउटा के हो? Newton force हो नि त. And area meter square. The SI unit of pressure is Newton per meter square. Newton per meter square or SI unit Newton per meter square or Pascal पनि त भन्छ. In honor of scientist Blaise Pascal, the SI unit of pressure is called Pascal, denoted as P. Let us consider a numerical Newton per meter square. I say Newton per meter square. Let us consider a numerical example to understand the effect of thrust acting on. A block of wood is kept on a tabletop. The mass of wooden block is 5 kg. 5 kg छ, and its dimensions are 40 centimeter to 20 centimeter and 10 centimeter. Find the pressure exerted. The mass of the wooden block is 5 kg. Okay. And its dimension are 40. And its dimension are 40 centimeter, 20 centimeter and 10 centimeter. Height 20, length 40, breadth 10 centimeter, I guess. Find the pressure exerted by wooden block on the tabletop. if it made to lie on the tabletop with the sides of dimension 20 20 into 10 centimeter. Find the pressure exerted by pressure. Okay. I'm glad you are back, Icon Gaming. Dreamers Tour High. A block of wood is kept on a tabletop. The mass of the wooden block is 5 kg. एकपल्ट के गरेको छ 18 राखेको छ त्यतिखेर के हुन्छ भने त this is 10 centimeter and this is 20 centimeter. अर्को पालि के गरेको छ यो साइड तिम्रो कति हुन्छ यो साइड तिम्रो हुन्छ 20 सेन्टिमिटर र यो साइड हुन्छ तिम्रो 40 सेन्टिमिटर. यो हाइट तिम्रो 10 सेन्टिमिटर हुन्छ 40 into 20 सेन्टिमिटर. एकपल्ट 20 centimeter. Look on the tabletop. If it is made to lie on the tabletop with its sides of dimension A equals to 20 centimeter into 10 centimeter. Pressure is equals to force upon area or is equals to thrust upon area. Force equals to F equals to ma, mass into acceleration on the force भनेको त. Block is 5 is 25, 5 is 35, 35, 5 8 is 40 equals 0. 5 9 is 45, 45, 49.0 Newton. That is F equals to 49 Newton. 49 Newton. mg. Area of sides. Length into breadth. Twenty into 10 centimeter. 200 centimeter is equals to 2 centimeter. Meter में convert गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ के हुन्छ भने 200 centimeter meter में गर्दाखेरि divided by 100. Meters गर्दा नि त pressure 49. Pressure is equals to 49 Newton upon 0.02. 02 2450 Newton meter square. 0 1 is 2, 2 is 4, 2 4 is 8, 5 is 10. P equals to 2450 meter square. When the block lies on when the block lies on its side of dimension 40 into 20 centimeter, it exerts the same thrust. When a block lies on its side dimension 40 centimeter to 20 centimeter, it exerts the same thrust with 0.08. Okay, pressure. Okay, thrust. Exerts same thrust, but pressure is okay. The pressure exerted by the side 20 into 10 is the pressure is equals to force upon area. That will be like 49 upon 0.08. 4 to the 800. 0.08. Okay, so this will be like 409,008. 8 ones are 8, 8 tens are 80, 8 ones are 8 is 16, 8 10 8 4 is 32, 8 5 is 40, 8 6 is 48, 8 ones are 8, 8 5 is 40, 8 ones are 8 is 16, 40, 6125, 612.5, 612.5 Newton meter square. The pressure exerted अलग-अलग निकलेंगे, okay? Thus, the same force acting on a smaller area exerts larger pressure, and the smaller pressure on larger area. This is the reason why a nail has a pinpoint sharp edge and buildings have wide formation हुन्छ ताकि प्रेसर कम्ती लागोस् भनेर थिन एज हुन्छ ताकि काटोस् भनेर pressure in fluids. I feel like I'm about to sleep. I can sleep any time. channel activity. बाय द वे क्या है 9 दिसंबर को? 9 दिसंबर ना यानी आ रहा है ना वापस. हेलो कर्टिस, मैं कब से वैसे भी वेट कर रही थी. सर्वजीता तुम पढ़ाई कर रहे हो ना? संजय छेत्री, आप बहुत ब्यूटीफुल हो. वी हैव द सेम सरनेम संजय. थैंक यू संजय. शुभम, मुझे आज का क्लास का टाइमिंग ही नहीं पता कितने बजे हैं. लग रहा कि 2 PM से है. मैं गलत भी हो सकती हूँ. No, that's all we have. Oh, we just have it. Why don't we have everything? Tick tick 1, tick tick 2, tick tick 3. तिमी नेपाली हो? हजुर म नेपाली हो त. पूछ लो फिर. हजुर हजुर म नेपाली हो. आज सुबह बताया ना, मैगी खाई, अभी इंडाइजेशन हो गई. मेरी मैगी से इंडाइजेशन नहीं होता ना, लेकिन दूध वाली चाय से बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. मेरो घर सिक्किम हो. तपाईँको घर कहाँ हो? तुमने इतना सुबह बोला ना कि तुमने मैगी खाया. मुझे भी ना दिन में मैगी खाने का दिल कर रहा था ना, लेकिन इससे इतना है क्योंकि कल भी खाया ना मैंने दूध वाला चाय, उसके साथ मैंने एक मिमी भी खा लिया. तो अभी मेरे पास इतना पैसा नहीं बचा, तो मैं सेविंग्स कर रही हूँ बाद में खाने के लिए, इसलिए मैंने नहीं खाया. क्या चल रहा है? मेरो आसाम तेजपुर हो. ए हजुर हजुर. हुन्छ सञ्जय, बुझे. तपाईँको घर आसाम रहेछ. कुछ भी नहीं चल रहा है शुभम, अभी पढ़ाई चल रही है क्योंकि ना आज मुझे नहीं पता ना ट्यूशन का टाइमिंग क्या है. आज जाके पढ़ाना है. उन लोगों का ग्रेविटेशन कंप्लीट कर देना है. ऐसे भी करके ग्रेविटेशन से वैसे भी कितना सर में दर्द हो रहा है. थोड़ा पढ़ लेती हूँ. हाँ, लेट्स स्टडी. शुभम, आज तुम काफ़ी लेट आए और तुमने सुबह वाला सेशन अटेंड नहीं किया. ट्रस्ट force acting on an object perpendicular to the surface. Force acting on a surface. surface, force acting on a surface perpendicular, force acting on an object, force एउटा अब्जेक्टमा कुनै पनि अब्जेक्टमा फोर्स लागेको जो चाहिँ के हुन्छ परपेन्डिकुलर टु द सर्फेस, SURFACE सर्फेस, परपेन्डिकुलर टु द सर्फेस प्रेस गर्दाखेरि के हुन्छ सर्फेसको परपेन्डिकुलर लगाउनु पर्यो, सर्फेसको परपेन्डिकुलर लाग्दछ, is called thrust, THRUST, thrust. Next, it depends on the area in which the forces getting applied, APPLIED applied. Force acting on an object perpendicular to the surface is called thrust. The side effect of the thrust depends on the area of contact. SI unit of thrust is Newton. SI unit thrust पे SI unit क्यों thrust Newton. SI unit of thrust. Force acting on an object perpendicular to the surface is called thrust. Force acting on an object perpendicular to the surface is called thrust. The effect of thrust depends on area of contact. The SI unit is Newton. Thrust, gravity. Force acting on an object perpendicular to the surface is called thrust. The effect of thrust depends on the area of contact. The effect of thrust depends on the area of contact. It depends on area in which the force is getting applied or area of contact. के भन्दो रहेछ यसलाई area of contact भन्छ जो thrust. Force acting on an object perpendicular to the surface is called thrust. Force acting on an object perpendicular to the surface is called thrust. Force acting on an object, कुनै पनि force object मा act गर्दैछ भने त्यसलाई के भन्दो रहेछ perpendicular to the surface is called thrust. The effect of thrust depends on area of contact. The effect of thrust depends on the effect of thrust depends on the area of contact. The SI unit is Newton. SI unit is Newton. This is thrust, but this is gravity. Pressure, force upon area. It is defined as the thrust per unit area. SI unit Pascal, Newton per meter square. Pressure is equals to thrust area. Thrust upon area. Definition, 1 Pascal भन्यो भने 1 Newton. 1 Newton force कहाँ लाग्नु पर्यो 1 unit area मा 1 meter square. 1 Pascal is equals to 1 Newton upon 1 meter square. 1 Pascal is equals to 1 Newton force upon 1 unit meter square. Why camels have broad feet? Pressure is inversely proportional to area. More area means less pressure. That means easier to walk on sand without getting the feet sinking deep into sand. Area increase, pressure decrease. Okay, pressure in fluid. Area equals to of rectangular length into breadth. Sarvajita, can you like confirm this one? वो ना area of rectangle length into breadth ही होता है ना? Sarvajita, he is asking my contact number. He want a tuition class, but that is a bluff, you know. You know how they are, right? I can't share my number with anyone. Please, anyone confirm this now? Area of rectangle is length into breadth, right? Hey yo, someone tell me fast. area of rectangle is equals to length into breadth, right? Please confirm. Someone please confirm. Yes, you are right now. Okay. Thanks, Sanjay. Pressure. Pressure in fluids. Pressure exerted by liquid is due to the weight of the liquid. Pressure exerted by liquid is due to the weight of the liquid. Characteristics of pressure exerted by liquid. Characteristics of pressure exerted by liquid. At a given depth. At a given depth, pressure remains same. It depends on height or depth of the liquid. It is independent of size, shape of the container. It is independent of size, shape of the container. Pressure in fluids. Pressure in the fluids. Pressure in fluids. Pressure in fluids. When you go one of the fluid now. PRESS here. Fluid is due to the weight the liquid. Pressure in fluid is due to the weight of the liquid. Pressure exerted by liquid is due to the pressure exerted by liquid is due to the weight of the liquid. Fluid. By liquid. Pressure exerted by liquid is due to the weight of the liquid. Characteristics of pressure exerted by liquid. Characteristics of pressure exerted. Characteristics of pressure exerted by liquid. LIQUID. Pressure exerted by liquid. Characteristics of pressure exerted by liquid. Characteristics of pressure exerted by liquid. कौन सा वाला था first में? It doesn't pressure due to weight of fluid does not depend on the shape or size of container. Okay. Number 2. At certain depth, pressure depends on height, depth. Number 2. Pressure depends on height and depth and density of the fluid. 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 Pressure in fluid. Pressure exerted by liquid is due to the weight of the liquid. Characteristics of pressure exerted by liquid at a given depth. Pressure remains the same. It depends on height or depth of the liquid. It is independent of size and shape of the container. Pressure increases when depth increases. I swear to God, pressure increases when depth increases. Depends on height and depth of the water and density of the water or fluid. Buoyant force. Laws of flotation. Anyways, pressure and weight, and then we have buoyancy. Buoyant force or buoyancy. Buoyant force or buoyancy. Haven't I wrote it here somewhere? Why haven't? Buoyancy. Buoyant force. Buoyant force. The buoyant force or buoyancy, upward force exerted on an object which is partially or wholly immersed in a fluid. It is also known as upthrust. Force applicable on body perpendicular to the surface. Force applicable on the body. Force acting on an object. Force acting on an object perpendicular to the force acting on an object perpendicular to the surface. Force acting on an object perpendicular to the surface. Okay, buoyancy. Buoyant force. Buoyant. Buoyant force. Buoyant force. FORC. Astaghfirullah. Buoyant force. 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 Got it? Yep, I did it. Buoyant force. To an object. Force which is applicable to an object. Upward force exerted on an object. Force which is applicable to an object in upward direction. Upward direction. In upward direction. कहाँ से हो? Abhimanyu, I am from Sikkim. The buoyant force or buoyancy. Upward force exerted on an object which is partially or wholly immersed in fluid. It is also known as upthrust. Buoyancy, buoyant force. Buoyancy या फिर buoyant force. B-U-O-Y-N-T, buoyant. B-U-O-Y-N-T, buoyant. B-U-O-Y-N-C, buoyancy, buoyant force. Buoyant force or buoyancy. It is the force applicable. It is the force. I just told you that मैं सिक्किम से हूँ अभिमन्यु. You are still writing the same thing. Buoyant force, buoyancy. It is the force. It is the upward force applicable on a body which is partially or wholly submerged in the liquid fluid. Upward force exerted on an object which is partially or wholly immersed in a fluid. It is also known as upthrust. Buoyant force, buoyancy. इसको और को नाम किया जाता है upthrust. UP up THRUST. partially या फिर completely डुबेको object मा माथि जाने की उधर से उठा wholly immersed object in a fluid. It is also known as upthrust. It is also known as upthrust. Factors affecting buoyant force. कौन सी तैयारी कर रहे हो? क्लास में अभी जो पढ़ाने वाले हैं ना उसी की तैयारी कर रहे हैं. Density of the fluid. A dense fluid like salt water exerts more buoyant force. It pushes harder against object submerged in it. Pressure लाग्यो भने पनि ज्यादा लाग्छ. Buoyant force पनि के रहेछ? A dense fluid like salt water exerts more buoyant force because it pushes harder against object submerged in it. Okay. A denser fluid like salt water exerts more buoyant force. Salt water. More buoyant force because it pushes harder against object submerged in it. Okay. Factors affecting buoyant force. Density of the fluid. Fluids like salt water. A denser fluid like density of the fluid. Denser fluid like salt water have greater upthrust. Exert more buoyant force because it pushes water against objects submerged in it. Buoyant force. exerts more buoyant force because it pushes harder against water submerged in it. A volume, surface area of the object. Larger objects experience stronger buoyant force as they displace more fluid, which increase the upward force acting on them. Okay, larger objects experience stronger buoyant force as they displace more fluid, which increase the upward force acting on them. Okay, larger, okay, volume, surface area, volume, surface area of the object, volume or surface area of the object. Abhimanyu, it's neat. NEET. Factors affecting buoyant force. Factors affecting buoyant force. Factors affecting buoyant force. Volume of surface area increase, more more of thrust. A denser liquid like salt water exerts more buoyant force because it pushes harder against objects submerged in it. Larger objects experience stronger buoyant force as we place it in the fluid. It displaces larger amount of water. Stronger buoyant force as they displace more fluid, which increase the upward force acting on them. Laws of flotation. Laws of flotation. Floating, sinking, suspended. Archimedes principle. गुड लक जो भी पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं. Laws of flotation. A body will float in liquid if its density is less than the density of liquid. Body तब float करता तब इसको density liquid को density भन्दा खेर कम्ती हुन्छ. A body will float in a liquid if its density is less than the density of liquid. A body will be in equilibrium at any submerged depth if the density of the body is equal to the density of the liquid. A body will be in equilibrium at any submerged depth if the density of the liquid. A body will sink if a liquid density is greater than the density of liquid. A body will sink. Your body sink a body will sink in a liquid density if it is density. A body will sink in a liquid comment नहीं हे दिनों तो कहाँ कभी हरी को A body will sink in a liquid if its density is greater than the density of liquid. A body will float in a liquid if its density is less than the density of liquid. A body will float in a liquid if its density is less than that of liquid. Density of buoyant force is equals to mg, mass into gravitation. Mass equals to density is equals to mass upon volume. So mass equals to density upon density into volume. The dense. Buoyant force. A body will float in liquid if its density is less than the density of liquid. Body will sink in a liquid if its density body will float in a liquid if its density is less than density of liquid. Body will float if its density is less than the density of liquid. A body will float if the density body will float. I don't know. Astaghfirullah. mg. Density of object is equals to liquid. बराबर भाई मुझे लिक्विड ज़्यादा भाई buoyant force mg फ्लोट बराबर भयो भने के हुँदो रहेछ, फ्लोट हुँदो रहेछ। At any submerged depth, if the density of the body is equal to the density of the liquid, it will be in equilibrium at any submerged depth. Okay. Floating. Object floating. Object floats if buoyant force is equals to weight of the object. Sinking. Object sinks if buoyant force is sinking. Object sinks if buoyant force is less than the weight of the object. Suspended. Object remains suspended if weight and density is approximately same. Why is it easier to swim in sea water than fresh water? Sea water contains dissolved salt, which makes its density more than river. Hence, upthrust is more in sea water than river water. So it is easier to swim in sea water than in river water. Archimedes principle. Archimedes principle states that when a liquid is partially or fully immersed in a fluid, it experiences an upward force called the buoyant force, that is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the object. Application of Archimedes principle. Submarine float sinks. Change the amount of water in its tank. Okay. Submersible. When a liquid is partially or fully immersed in a fluid, it experiences upward force called the buoyant force, that is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by the object. Hot air balloon. Air inside the heated balloon rises as it becomes lighter than its surrounding. Hot air always tends to move upward. Inside it is heated. Balloon rises as it becomes lighter than the surrounding. Hydrometer. Hydrometer shapes float because they are then sized to displace large volume of water. हाँ मेरे हो Sanjay, how old are you? Liquids and gases are fluids. A solid exerts pressure on surface due to its weight. Similarly, fluids have weight and they also. Okay. 29. A liquid and gases are fluids. ए बुढो भएछ त 29 भनेपछि त अझै बिहा भएको छैन. Pressure in fluid. All liquid and gases are fluids. All liquid and gases are fluids. A solid exerts pressure on the surface due to its weight. Similarly, fluids have weight and they also exert pressure on the base wall of the container in which they are enclosed. Pressure exerted in any confined mass of fluid is transmitted and diminished in all directions. Pressure exerted in any confined mass of fluid is transmitted and diminished in all directions.